Schleif? Test, Test, Test. Sende uns ein Code connecting the Livestream start. Am I live? I don't know. I don't see a chat. Don't see any YouTube actions. Not even on my channel. Doch, yeah, I'm live. Plans, have to delete this one. But I think I'm live, but I can't check or visit it. Can somebody help me? Because I'm not able to watch my own live stream, which is kind of odd. Maybe I can check it here myself when I go to my channel. But channel live, doch, because I'm live. Able to watch my own live stream, which is kind of odd. But now's the question: why didn't show me the interface here? And should I have made an announcement? Is the question, because no one will see a thing when I'm not telling everybody that I'm live streaming. Maybe I'm doing an Instagram story or something like that. Show me the interface here. Here. And should I have made an announcement? Is the question, because yeah, I'm live. Now I have a preview. Perfect. When I'm not telling everybody that I'm live streaming. I'm scared it wasn't possible to do, but actually there's no problem. I just have to restart it. Here. And then everything turns out to be good. I want to hear myself. How's the audio quality? Is it bad? Is it good? I'm scared it wasn't. I hope. To do, but actually, there's no problem. I just have to restart. It's good. You probably heard me 5,000 times at the same time, but the audio is checking out. Hello, hello. Yeah, Rode is recording. And my Mac would be is now on mute. I can check myself. Okay, it's good. Now we just have to wait. Maybe I should watch something, I don't know. But it's actually pretty depressing when no one's there. So I hope someone starts to chat. I live streamed in my life several times, but it's like 8 years ago with around 200 people. So there was a lot of traffic, but now there's no traffic at all. So it's again pretty awkward to start with no one listening, but that's okay. It's pretty dark here. It's nighttime, but the stream is anamorphic. So enjoy, guys. So my problem would be I didn't even know where the chat would be. Hello. Oh yeah, okay. There would be a chat, so it's no problem. Durchschnittliche Wiedergabeaufrufe. Okay, crazy. Oh Mann. Okay. I'm open for everything. If someone wants to talk, I'm here for it. I can actually change my screen, showing you what is on my desktop. It's actually pretty boring, but I can change you a few things. I'm actually new to AI. I love AI content. Will be coming to this channel between my breakdowns. And
this is how you light the dark diner scene.
But I think I'm getting really decent results. Wait, I have to pump up the audio that you hear something. Yes.
This is how you light the dark diner scene. Shimmer.
This I'm actually done with Nano Banana Pro and Kling 2.6, and I tried different techniques like the lip syncing from the AI itself. Then I tried to synchronize it, but this was actually my first try. So there's no other thing than this online. It's not online, it's the first thing I tried. And I think for the first result, it's pretty good.
This is how you light the dark diner scene.
Then I think this one
This is how you light a dark diner scene, Sheelan.
Yeah, this was actually the normal one. I fixed it, oder? Holy. We can hear an echo from the audio, but did I fix it? I saw it here in my settings and now I muted it, so it should be good.
This is how you light a dark diner scene, Sheelan.
I'm more worried about my audio from my Mac.
This is how...
But it checks out. Good has scrubs. Okay, now the bound stream. How are you doing? What's your mission? What's the time where you're at? Because right now here it's nighttime. I actually should be streaming, but this is a test. I want to stream a little bit more. So I wanted to check this anamorphic lens for live streaming, which pretty stupid somehow because the frame is a little bit tight, but I think it's a cool effect for the beginning. So I would probably switch to 20mm like something like that, but it's actually pretty funny. I now see that the flares on this lens are actually orange, and this is not my set, it's from a friend of mine, but I don't know if he knows that these lenses make orange flares, which is very specific. Not every project suits the flare like that. It's 11 p.m. in Ghana. I absolutely love your videos. Thank you very much. Ghana is 11 p.m. Yeah, it's about the same time. Yeah, Ghana and Germany are pretty lined up. So, what is the filmmaking culture in Ghana? Is this a common thing? Or are so many people doing video projects as a career, or is it pretty niche in your country? I actually also want to do a little bit of ambient music in the background, but I think on YouTube it's actually pretty difficult with the licensing, and stream cuts off very fast when I start to play music, but I just feel awkward in the silence. When there's a lot of people in the chat, it's no problem, but when I'm alone and just a few guys, I feel pretty awkward. It's pretty vibrant. Okay. But is it because of social media and it's a new thing? Then in Germany for 15 years was also pretty niche. When you doesn't had a lot of money, no one would do the filmmaking career. but with social media and cheaper cameras, it became much more common for a lot of people. And doing some good stuff. Yeah. Would you say there is an African or a look from Ghana, a video look from Ghana? Because every country has their looks. So every German production looks pretty much the same. The Italian productions look really the same. Is there a distinction look in your country? Or as it's evolving, everything looks different? And I don't know if you know, but in Germany or in my area, Frankfurt, around that, people from Ghana are the most common West Africans here. Practically all West Africans people I know are from Ghana here.
Schirme.
Just in between the chat, it took me 3 to 4 try and errors for Nano Banana to get me in this position, but I always have the feeling they make me fatter than I am. It looks like me, but it also at the same time doesn't look, because we're working with one reference image. The first frame is good, but the second it moves, it completely loses my face structure. And I also have the feeling, do you see a little bit of Kevin Spacey? Yeah, I have the feeling the AI makes this House of Cards was the series with Kevin Spacey. My face looks pretty similar to it. A bit uncanny in my opinion. I lost the chat. Then this was pretty much the next thing I tried with Kling.
All right, let's get this shot right.
I don't know if you noticed it, but I tried to simulate Nico Robin from One Piece. I think that the outfit is correct, but Nico Robin is practically Russian. I don't know why they make it Asian, but I have to be more specific with the prompt. But like I said before, this was my first 2 things I did with Kling and Nano Banana Pro. I use Artlist. I bought a big pack for a year with a lot of credits, but I regret it because Higgsfield seems to be much better, much more functionality, and now I'm stuck. Isn't the look dependent on the colorist? I don't mean like the color grading look, or it's more like the overall feel. In Italy, they tend to light everyone pretty even, and they used only this set of camera and this set of lenses. Yeah, this one in Germany is also the distinguished look where everything has pretty much the same exposure. So when it's a dark scene, everyone's still perfectly lit, and it's not always going for the right mood or the very extreme looks. Here looks everything pretty decent, but neutral, nothing special or aggressive. It's pretty normal most of the time. This is what I mean with constant look. Oh yeah, it sounds pretty much the same then. Okay. Also in, what is the typical, is there a typical French look? So this maybe also, but I don't watch enough French content that I can distinguish it without any problems. I actually can pull up my art lists and can show you the few images I generated. My creations, here they are. Can talk a little bit about the process. As you can see, really not that much content overall here. This was the first image I created, and as you can see, it's not that good. Which eye was it? Should be Nano Banana. Maybe it was Nano Banana, but not Nano Banana Pro. I gave them an image from me where I took a picture from different angles and throw it in as a reference image, and then a screenshot from some commercial I saw and said place me in there but change the color of my clothes. But it doesn't look as good as I hoped, because I just looked like they cutted me out and put me in and put me on a chair. Then the next one, I think this with Sea Dream. It's not Nano Banana anymore. And yeah, that also doesn't feel right. And I never liked the angle they choose. They always put me on this flat position. Then I took two reference image or more, one of my face, one of the real scene, and then the room again. And then we got closer. Then we actually got this result. And I think this looks the closest to me. If you had to invest in one light for your production, white light, would that be the price doesn't matter, or give me a price range? That would help pretty much. I lost the chat. I would really want to have the chat more on this side, but when I click on my window, it disappears. So I have to switch so that I can see the chat a little bit better. Okay, chat, open a new window. So this is better. Okay. Sub $500. Sub 500 is difficult. So when you're going into the used area, and I would probably go for aperture 300D X, something like that. I don't know. How much does this light cost used? Braucht is it in German? Nanlight R, maybe for the off-brands. 300p for 229, I think is a really good deal. I don't know if it's used or new. Yeah, it would probably be something in this area, because now you can buy different attachments for it, a light dome, a lantern, a spot mount, and then you're much more versatile. And it's bicolor, so can use this for indoor scenes at night and also daylight shoots. It's not that crazy powerful, but it has a little bit of punch, because I don't think... Oh, or... Light, this brand, they have pretty much good deals. A friend of mine owns 1 or 2 lights from these. It's a Chinese brand. I don't know how long they live actually, but sometimes they have for this price 1 for free or something like that, and then you get for $300-400 a pretty decent light. Also they have a RGB variation for filmmaker. What do we have? 699 for 650B, also not bad, but a little bit above the here 500B 499 with a stand included. I think this would be the best light for sub $500. It's pretty much on point. You have 500. It's really good output, better than a 300. It supports V mounts, it's P-color, and includes one free stand. Hi, it's Joe. It's Joey Pimeyer. Hello. Love your videos, Marco. Thank you. Do you have any thoughts on the current offerings from Blackmagic and Red? Currently stuck between getting Pixels 12K and Red, mostly doing narrative mini docs for brands. I think the Pixels is very interesting since the autofocus got so much better. And then sure, the Red will always have a little bit of nicer look in my opinion. I never owned a Blackmagic by myself in my life. It's always, but I work with so many because a lot of friends own a Blackmagic. But damn, the Pixels 12K such a good looking camera. We'll check out. The form factor is pretty cool. I don't know if I like that there's no built-in monitor. I mean, the Komodo doesn't even have one either. But somehow I just hate it when there's no screen. I always use my whole life a 7-inch display. But somehow I'm now tending more for a smaller one, a 5-inch, because the 7-inch is just so clumsy. And I don't like the feeling of the weight when you work with bigger cameras. So yeah, I don't know what's my point anymore. But I think this is a little bit disturbing for me, this part with the viewfinder. I don't think the monitor from Blackmagic is maybe that good. But nonetheless, you can just, on a Komodo, you also have one at all. You have a really bad one on top. This one is a lot nicer. And yes, at that time I would go for the Pixels over the Komodo, but I don't know what's the actual price for it. The Pixels is around 4.5 grand. What's the Teltex in Germany? So the big, it's like MBP or something like this in the US. It's our biggest store, 3,700. Takes decent media, open gate, it's crazy, and autofocus. The Komodo Red autofocus is terrible, not usable. I owned an Helium, I owned a Komodo, and yeah, I love the cameras, I love the look. Red will always be my main camera of choice for bigger projects with the Venice. But yeah, I don't have an argument for a Komodo over the Pixels, so would go for the Pixels maybe, probably. You can always say, oh, I own a Red, I know the feeling, when you just want to have a Red, but in modern area right now, I think it doesn't matter anymore. Every camera is good. I'm bright, or? I have the feeling every time I'm open scenery with here a white window, my skin is going. Maybe I dim the light a little bit. Which camera do you use right now, Joey? Yeah, it's a bit better on the skin tones. That's kind of I've been thinking. I prefer to stay with full frame, also great. The Raptor XE is just a bit of reach money wise, haha. Yeah, Raptor XE, it's a really dumbed down Raptor XE. Yeah, way too much money for what you get. Way too much. Let me check. 8K anamorphic modes. Always great. 60 FPS. When do we get 124K? And also, this is the only thing I hate about red cameras. It's the crop. Marion Servus. I have a Blackmagic 64 friend. I have a Nikon ZR as well. Nikon ZR. Is the ZR the new hot red one, or does the ZR the old Nikon? But the problem, when you have the Blackmagic 6K full frame, I don't know if the upgrade to the pixels is that much, because it's at the end of the day it's the same. It's not the same sensor, but the look is pretty similar. What is the Nikon ZR again? Oh, it's a cool reddish one. That's a pretty cool camera. Then you practically have the small Blackmagic and the small red one. So I think image-wise you're already there. So you won't get that much more with paying that amount of money. What is the feeling? What is the feeling that you miss most of the time? Is it frame rate? Is it dynamic range? Is it colors? What is the reason for you to upgrade? I just want a bigger camera because more professional. Fully usable, yeah. The small camera I use most of the time. How's it? I have a Panasonic S5X2 S5 2X or something like that, and I think about selling it and buying this one because it looks just more fun. I have the small camera for my YouTube channel, but I have also feelings for YouTube content. The camera doesn't matter anymore. Right now, or the last video I uploaded, it was the Sony A7S I. This camera is 12 years old. The image that I produced looks almost identical because I shot my scenery so much, so often, that is, as you cannot distinguish the quality anymore. But because I have these anamorphic lenses and they're E-mount right now, and yeah, the Sony A7S I is the only E-mount camera I own at home. So I tried it with this because I wanted to shoot a few anamorphic reviews. Here my newest video. I think it looks still great. It's also no 1080p. I just upscaled to 4K, but what I can tell, colors look good. The only thing that is missing, in my opinion, is sharpness. But it overall gives maybe this cool, softer feeling. You have to say what you think about it. I mean, on screen it will probably look even more worse. I mean, this what you're seeing right now is the Sony A7S I. Probably frame rate, dynamic range, rarity. I use the Luminic S5X2. It's a great camera. It actually has everything. I don't shoot that much slow motion. That's the only bad thing it does. But open gate, I'm able to shoot ProRes if I needed to. Autofocus is also great, even with a Canon adapter. I have no problems with the camera at all. On the box they can feel more professional. Yeah, I get it with the box camera, but I also love shooting on smaller cameras. What I don't like is to rig up actually a smaller camera because over time, when you're so used to this huge cameras with every single thing on them that is in existence, it really gets annoying after time, and you're just happy when you have just the body with the lens and that's it. And I really that's the reason why I want the Nikon ZR, because of this huge back display. It gives me even more the feeling that I need nothing else, just the camera. What's your experience with this camera? Is the 4-inch screen such an improvement that you look at it and think, wow, I can actually see the thing? Habe auch eine Lumix, die sind schon geil, aber die S1, der S1 is the newer, bigger one, yeah? Rolling shutter speed is a big reason too. I do a lot of fast-paced fitness work and Blackmagic is a bit annoying to work with that regard. I done also a lot of fast-pacing stuff, but yeah, it's always with red camera, I think. But in my world, rolling shutter was never a problem, but I think I just ignore it. Can you convince me that with a decent color grade difference between the Lumix S5X and the Blackmagic is noticeable? Let's assume you're using decent lenses in both cameras. Yeah, I think you can match most cameras nowadays with no problem at all. There are minor differences. The skin will look a bit different. The background color will look a bit different for the normal eyes. Every camera, when the angle is different and it's not a pure side-by-side, it's really difficult to notice. I matched Red with Blackmagic, with Arri, with Sony, with Panasonic, Blackmagic with Sony, and sometimes there are combinations but this was at the beginning where I was more unexperienced. It looked more different, but nowadays I think I can match pretty much every camera to a decent degree. S1 S1 is now with 8K RAW and everything. Internal RAW recording is something I want back. That's actually something I miss, I think. This is really good on Blackmagic cameras. This looks insane. What? The stream? Now I feel it a bit underexposed. No, it's still okay. Sometimes I open a new window and the light is just blasting into my face. Have you ever shot medium format lenses and full frame cameras with a focal reducer? I got some. Actually, no. I'm not a photographer at all. Most of the time when you're shooting medium format in your life, it's probably with a photo camera and film camera. But you can count on two hands how many photos I did in my life. Somehow this is not something I like doing. I can't explain it. But photography is not something for me. So I never entered the world of medium format. I thought maybe the last shoot I did, we had the opportunity to shoot an Alexa 65, but we changed. I wanted to shoot on the Venice 2 because of several reasons. For the project was better. But that was a chance not. And now that we shot it, we had a lot of problems on that shoot. I'm really happy I chose the Venice 2. This shot is on a Sony A7S1, but the new Stereo Astra 1.33 anamorphic lenses, if I remember correctly. Okay, the box is also here. This is a full frame anamorphic autofocus lens, the first, as I read. We also used them on the project. We had underwater scenes and put it on an FX3 because the rest of the video was on Cook anamorphics and we wanted to match it a little bit underwater. And so we chose these lenses because a friend of mine owns them. Oh, never mind. I did one photo medium format because a friend of mine is really into photography and film, and I did one with it. This was my experience with medium format, but I really liked the feeling of watching the display. I think already watching just the preview, looked amazing. Hast du eine Ausbildung, ein Studium im Bereich Film gemacht? I studied here in Germany, but I don't think it's necessary. It's good for getting connections and knowing people in the industry, but you don't learn something there. It's more like they take care and watch over your projects, but it's not that you learn a lot. You have really to be, when you study something like film, you have to be really have much discipline, because you work most of the time in groups. You need groups, you need a film crew, and most people are pretty lazy in this area. So you need to be very self-driven and try to direct and convince people to help by you on your projects. Which time is right now? We have I want to do 1 hour of live streaming because I don't want to sleep that late tonight. But it's the only time my main community is in USA. It's 45%. The rest is Canada, UK, Germany, India. And so at 0 o'clock my time is the only time I have nearly a chance to talk with someone. But now actually everyone right now is from Europe or in our time zone. So I could have started earlier, but never mind. It's just for fun. How much is $2,350? I talked about it, or maybe it got cheaper, but the camera is so new. There's no reason at all why it should be cheaper. But for a few months it was on €2,100, and with an SD card, but maybe it was just a Black Friday special or something like that. If I could use one camera for the rest of your life, what would it be? Just professional work, or for everything, just day-to-day use? Because when it's for professional work, I would probably use the Red Raptor 8K VistaVision. That's because I'm a Red stan. I use the Sony Venice 2 probably more, but it's just such a big camera. It's so heavy, and I tend to like smaller bodies. But there's a problem, no autofocus. So for private projects, so what would be the best camera? It has to be autofocus is very important for me. Nevertheless, I have most of the time a focus puller on set. I really like the ability, because I film myself a lot, that it's just sharp and I don't have to think about it. This is my first stream since years. I streamed years ago, but today was just a nice test stream. Right now on smaller cameras, I pretty much like my Panasonic camera, but it misses a little bit of dynamic range, so I'd go for the better one, the S12, like someone said. Great autofocus, 8K RAW, slow motion. It practically has everything. Yeah, personal life and work, everything, yeah. Then I have to check the Blackmagic cameras, the Pixels, with the new autofocus. When they have good autofocus, I think they could be the camera, because they're very flexible. The RAW format is really manageable. It was great with DaVinci Resolve. I actually like to stream. I stream, like I said before, I streamed 7 years ago a lot, and also with a bigger audience. So there was always like 200 people or something like that. But it was not the time where I had a lot of time to stream. Now I'm older, I'm settled in life, my whole life is much more relaxed, and now I'm actually have time to stream, but I also want to have more free time. So I worked so much in my 20s. It was really, really, really tough. And now I do my jobs, and when I notice it's enough for a year and a little bit more, I try to reduce my shoots a lot. I'm also not that much into buying gear anymore. I personally own practically nothing anymore. Yeah, honestly, I kind of wish I have gotten the Lumix S1 II instead of Nikon ZR, so everything would be in the L mount. Too many adapters, I need the multi-mounts. That's annoying. But look-wise, the ZR is probably be cooler, huh? Panasonic still has this bit magenta feeling I always has in the skin that I don't like that much. Yeah, but the colors are a little bit better on the S2, S1 too. How's the file sizes on a Nikon ZR? Is it that huge? Is it that unmanageable? Or is this okay? Did you check this against a Komodo? From the file sizes, as when I'm on the Komodo on medium mode, is this more data than on the Nikon, or is it less? If you know the answer. That's a really interesting brand. I wasn't expecting, as a friend of mine bought one of the lights that's actually good and even had more output than the 300X. So he has the 300C from them, and it was actually brighter than from the 300X from Aperture, which I found interesting because normally the color version doesn't have as much output than the B color version. Only bad thing is that you have to control the light on the thing, and you don't have something like this. You only have this on the bigger ones, so it's not Aperture. You have to compare it more to Amaran. But also that I never understand the difference between Aperture and Amaran. I don't understand that they have a cheaper variation of their own lights, but they also perform very good. I don't know what is worse on these lights. Sure, they have these really strange ones. I thought these square-like lights are that, and that we all just admitted that these kinds of lights are 10,000 times better. They're big, but I found a solid workaround when it comes to storing the files. I set close to final exposure and white balance and resolve, then rendered files for 10-bit files. To 200 megabits. Okay, but still time and rendering. Yeah, it's it's time that's the problem. I'm one of the guy that also hates to use proxies. And I think I never did a proxy project in my life. I tend to wait longer, work with small FPS, then render everything and do proxies. Because I also hate a lot of data. You have to understand, I hate data so much. I didn't save. I've maybe in my whole career 3 projects that I save. the whole material I ever shot is gone. Sometimes I even lose the final data from the project, also the final, but the data itself, I have no use for it. What's your favorite focal length or like favorite lens if you have one? I really like wider lenses on full frame with a big aperture. So like an 20 millimeter 1.4, 24 millimeter 1.4. This gives me this medium format like feeling. That's pretty cool, but it changes always over time. But right now I would say 20 millimeter 1.4, 80 millimeter 1.4, something in this area on a full frame lens, I think is pretty cool. Also for social media content when you're shooting vertical. You have the same flexibility as a Sony Canon the tablets. You can still use red dots like the raw file. Yeah, and the workup around this would be my worst nightmare. I also, when we're shooting, I noticed, okay, we have 1 terabyte, 2 terabytes SSD on set, and we film, and I start noticing it could get close. I drop the quality on Red RAW, for example, so much that I know, okay, we don't have to use a second SSD, so that I don't have to plug 2 SSDs in my computer or on my Mac, because I want everything on one SSD. I hated to use multiple hard drives. I know it sounds crazy, but everyone has their bad habits. Do you think as you got better as a DP, cinematographer, you start to prefer wider focal lengths? I noticed myself and others that first I started like more telephoto because it's easier. Yeah, for sure. The wider frame, you tend to look more for a cooler composition, and yeah, then you need a wider lens. But I also like to shoot more in this area, like 85 millimeter and above, because that's also gone somehow. A lot of people are so in this 14 to 50 millimeter, and a lot of movies are most of the time on longer focal lengths when you have a dialogue scene or something like that. And I also like to use those longer lenses, because somehow this is now the less easy one. I don't know, again, difficult to explain, but I like to shoot on longer lenses. To get a cool image and wider focal length, take more skill with frame and composition. Yes. Your argument is still correct, even though I said that I also like these longer lens shots. Overall, great compression images, always cool, but you have to still find great composition in it, otherwise then it becomes cheap. Sorry. My girlfriend is on the company party. It's the first time in a long time where normally I'm always somewhere and sleeping in a hotel, but this is the first time that she's away, because she has 99% home office. She's actually always here, and I work also a lot of my life at home, but when I'm away, I'm longer away, and just a different experience that she's not here. I'm never alone in my own home. The only thing that's keeping me away from this camera is that I have to buy new adapters again. So there is no real Nikon ZR of Canon mount EF, because I still have all EF lenses. I don't have RF, I don't have L mount, I only have EF glass. And then new batteries, these stupid cards that I had also on the Komodo, but I don't own them anymore. I don't think I've seen anyone else on YouTube really do this kind of breakdowns of scenes experiments. Yeah, there are a few ones. Like the biggest one is probably Rendering DP. Is really good cinematographer, really experienced, also everything well, also have a lot more experience than me. I try to find my middle way to show things I already done, also show things I'm planning on doing. But next time, or when the first goal is I do everything step by step again, I want to get back my YouTube monetization, because I lost it, because this channel is really old. So I created this channel 2012, 13 or something like that. And I uploaded nothing in a long time for years, and then Google takes the monetization away. And the rules that you get monetization changed. Now you need watch time. So you need down 4,000 hours of watch time to get monetization back. And yeah, that's my first goal. And when I have this goal achieved and the flow of the channel is working again, because this channel was dead, so because I posted nothing, and now with a lot of content I bring slowly back, and then I will concentrate on more high quality videos. But I want to make this first steps, because I think it's not nice when I do a lot of cool videos where maybe I want to partner with rental houses where it show the specific big lights and how to use them, and no one sees them. So yeah, that's the reason I will do this more easy videos, and a lot of them at the same time. You could get an EF to Z adapter with drop-in filters, and then you can have internal NDs. I had for the Komodo something with drop-in filters, but the wheel was so loose when I just touched it. You drove 3 stops into darkness or brighter. It was a little bit flimsy. Ich habe ja früher Sachen auf Deutsch gemacht. But I would say I like that everything becomes more international, because there are more people, the connections are more interesting. In Germany we are very limited to our bubble. Chat free. Okay. Yes. I lost the chat. Now I have it back. Okay, what's the time? I think we've done our hour. I will go to sleep now. Thank you for everyone that was in the chat. Yeah, bigger audience. What's also crazy is I started doing videos in English, and we always joke about that these artists and motion array, everyone has corporations with these kinds of companies. The second I uploaded English videos, these emails come daily from companies That was never the case if, the time I did German content. But also at that time there was not, product placement was not as common as now. No problem. Okay. Thank you everybody. It was a great experience for the first streams. I have to check when the next one is, but for now I have to go to sleep, play with my cat. It's also not an important task I have to do. And I don't know why I'm still looking at this screen. I have two chats open. I have done from YouTube and then from OBS. I tend to look at this one, but this one is much easier to look at. Never mind. Okay, guys. See you next time. Watched my latest YouTube video that came for online for 2 hours.